Hey, how's it going? I was originally planning on uploading a different video today on the topics of how to maintain friendships and why maintaining friendships are so hard. But just because of the whole recent incident that happened yesterday on the 11th of March, I kind of felt like this was more of a priority for me to upload to kind of have a discussion of what kind of just happened yesterday. So obviously, I did make a comment about the situation with the coronavirus about 3 days ago, and I did upload that. And I'll just kind of upload it again here in case you haven't had a chance to see it. And I kind of wanted to reiterate and refine my thinking process of what's been kind of going on. So I haven't really been taking this, I don't want to use the word too seriously, but I haven't really been too concerned about this whole situation with the coronavirus. And I know that it is a big deal, like it really is a big deal. And what happened yesterday kind of made me have a better understanding of the global situation of what we're kind of dealing with here. And before I get into the topic of what I want to talk about for this particular video, I just want to emphasize that there's no reason to panic, right? Like do not panic about what's going on in all the news that you see, all of the negativity you're going to be seeing in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, if anything. Just continue, to take precautions as necessary, but there's no reason to panic, okay? So yesterday, Wednesday, March 11th, 2020, a couple of things have recently happened. The first thing was Tom Hanks getting, testing positive for the coronavirus, right? Like Mr. Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump, the guy from, what's it called, Castaway. And there's all these funny little memes about him being isolated. And the other thing is the NBA season has been canceled. Like, holy crap. I mean, that's sad to say. That's what kind of got me to think like, holy crap, this is really serious because and the other thing is that I think it's the World Health Organization has finally defined the coronavirus as a pandemic, what's it called? Gosh darn it, I'm drawing a blank here. So rather than being an epidemic, we are basically at a pandemic version of what's going on with this virus. And just the differences between a pandemic versus an epidemic is usually a pandemic is the same type of virus, the same type of disease, but it's affecting all countries around the world, right? Rather than just being like an epidemic where it's kind of usually localized into one specific area or a country, but kind of being more contagious than, let's say, a normal flu or a normal cold, for example, right? So we're at a pandemic stage, which it does sound scary, but honest to God, it's not that bad, okay? And also the thing yesterday was that Trump gave his presidential speech to the American people, just kind of detailing about the plans of what we're going to be doing for the next, the plans for dealing with the coronavirus. And sad to say, like, I know I'm not a Trump supporter at all by any means. Like I'm not, but I want to give him the benefit of the doubt to try and see what his message was for the people. And I'll go and link it down below. That way you can kind of see what his rhetoric and his speech looked like. But I didn't feel any genuineness from his conversation. Like everything that he was saying felt, I don't know if you even used the word rehearsed. You could clearly tell that he was just reading from a teleprompter. And the way he was just projecting his voice, the way he was just talking to the camera, it did not feel sincere at all.
States for the next 30 days. The new rules will go into effect Friday at midnight. These restrictions will be adjusted subject to conditions on the ground. There will be exemptions for Americans who have undergone underlying health conditions. The elderly population must be very, very careful. In particular, we are strongly home without fear of financial hardship. I will soon be taking emergency action, which is unprecedented, to provide financial relief.
And that's not comfortable coming from the leader of our country, right? We're supposed to feel like when a leader speaks up, we're all some people are kind of in freak out mode right now. We're all kind of in this unknown territory regarding what this specific virus is detailing, right? Because we've never dealt with something like this before, at least with this specific virus. And just the way he was communicating, and it almost seemed like he was trying to almost politicize it. I mean, believe it or not. And then I got a chance to hear Joe Biden give his version of his, I guess, if you want to call it State of the Union, or just his version of addressing the people. And I'm not a Biden fan either. I'm a Bernie supporter, by the way. But just hearing Biden talk to us and kind of reassure us, it made me feel a little bit more comfortable, right? And I'll go and link that video down below as well.
Whether that's self-quarantine themselves or canceling events and closing campuses. Because whether or not you're affected or know someone who is infected or have been in contact with them and containing, nor should we hide the true number of infections in hope of protecting political interest or the stock market. The markets will respond to strong, steady, and capable leadership that addresses the root. It was designed for exactly this scenario. But for some reason I still don't understand, President Trump eliminated that office 2 years ago.
And just the two contrasting between, you got Trump here, you got Biden here, Republican, Democrats. And I just want to say one thing is that you'll see some posts on Facebook, on social media or whatever, detailing that this whole virus thing is a hoax.
The impeachment hoax. That was on a perfect conversation. They tried anything. They tried it over and over. They've been doing it since you got in. It's all turning. They lost. It's all turning. Think of it. Think of it. And this is their new hoax.
This is just a political ploy by the Democrats to make Trump look bad, to make, Republicans look bad. Like, if you honestly believe that, there's a big middle finger for you, because you're an idiot if you really think that this is just a hoax and that somehow our hoax is affecting everybody else in the world. I mean, Italy's on shutdown. They announced yesterday that USA and Europe have kind of did a temporary suspension on travel, right? Or they did like a travel ban, or temporarily for at least 30 days until everything starts getting cleared up more and more. And I just kind of want to read a couple of things, actually. So I was going through my usual Reddit post reading the other day, or actually just yesterday. And, as much as the coronavirus seems like it's very daunting, right? It's scary because, again, a lot of people are affected by it. Our lifestyles are being affected. I kind of just did a little bit of a reading regarding, like, for example, something called the reproduction factor, or they call it the R0, the R naught. And the reproduction factor, or the R naught value of the coronavirus, is anywhere between 1.4 and 4.07. So what does that mean exactly? So that means that for, let's say, you come in contact with a person who may have the coronavirus, but who may be asymptomatic. So the chances of that person spreading the virus is basically, he can spread it to one person, or he can spread it to up to 4 different people. And you can think about this in exponential terms, right? So if one person gets it and there's 4 people that come in contact with them, there's chances that these 4 people are going to get it. And now these, each individual person that does have it now, 4 people are going to get it again, so on, so on, and so on. So it exponentially grows more and more. And that's why they're wanting the people to just stay inside the house. Don't infect everybody from possibly getting it as well. And I just want to reiterate again, mortality rates are pretty low for people who are generally healthy, right? So meaning people who are, they were saying people who are 60 and under are generally going to be okay. You're going to be experiencing symptoms of like the, flu-like symptoms. Again, one thing, this is not the flu, okay? Not the flu. But you'll be experiencing very similar symptoms: fatigue, shortness of breath, and just fever-like symptoms, right? And the one thing that I honestly I'm disappointed in what our country's response is to this pandemic is that we're not doing enough testing, right? Primarily, it has to do with just financial reasons. Everything's always about fucking money. It's a joke. Like, check this out, okay? This is according to CNBC. Top U.S. health official says coronavirus testing system is failing. Cases now confirmed in 44 states. That's a lot, right? And let me just kind of read some of the comments regarding this particular post. All right, check this out. A top U.S. official said the nation cannot process coronavirus tests as quickly, easily, or in the same volume as other countries as the virus continues to spread across the U.S., and that is failing. The system is not really geared toward what we need right now. What you are asking for, that is a failing Dr. Anthony Fauci, director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, told the House Oversight and Reform Committee on Thursday at a hearing on the nation's preparedness for the outbreak. The idea of anybody getting it easily the way people in other countries are doing it, we're not set up for that. Do I think we should be? Yes. But unfortunately, we're not. And this is a quote by Dr. Fauci. And I feel like, yeah, again, our country is not doing a good job just handling this outbreak at all. If you look, if I remember reading correctly, they have what's called in South Korea, for example, they have like what's it called, like a fast food takeout, but for testing, right? You drive your car up, you go, you get your test done. It's like a 20-minute, I believe it's about a 20-minute timetable as far as getting tested and being confirmed or not. And I mean, you could think about what's the word? Not the carryover, but just the amount of confirmation based off that system, right? You drive your car, you're in your own isolated vehicle. You go to a drive-through, they hand you a test, you whatever it is that you do, give it back, you confirm, yes, no, you have it, go home, get some rest. Like, what are we doing here, right? I know they're trying to implement some sort of like system in hospitals, so living in Washington, Governor Jay Inslee has kind of proposed that, any type of event that has 250 people or more type of venue, people should not be going to at this moment, right? So maybe places like church, football games. I mean, there's no football, but it's like baseball games, for example. Is there baseball? I don't know. Concerts, movie theaters, generally you want to try and stay away. But I just feel like our testing system is not doing a very good job. We're just not, as a country who's considered the number one in the world, we are fucking failing. And that is frustrating as hell. So to all those like MAGA people, I doubt you're going to watch this shit, to watch my videos. Is this what you guys want? Is this what you guys want? I mean, again, I just want to reiterate, no, there's no reason to panic. And one of the other things that I do want to mention is that the markets are ridiculously down. As you can see, we're just dropping here. I think they ended up implementing the first stopgap, like a hard stop, so that the market doesn't completely crash the system. I think we're down to like 7 or 8% as of today. I mean, the market's it's taking a nosedive. And it got worse basically after Trump gave his presidential speech yesterday. I kind of want to give a scenario, okay? So for people who easily panic, who easily scare easily, you'd probably want to stop the video right now and just stop watching it. But otherwise, let's keep going. Let's go with a hypothetical situation here. And this is actually something that's pretty scary, okay? So imagine right now, a lot of people are just working from home. People aren't going out. What does that mean? No one's shopping, no one's going to restaurants, no one's going to the gym, no one's participating in any outdoor activities, right? No one's going to yoga classes, no one's going to, painting classes. I'm sure there's some people who are, but very minimal, right? At least here in Washington State, like in Seattle, there are a lot of restaurants and small businesses who are really struggling right now to make ends meet, right? Because no one's buying their product, no one's going out shopping, no one's eating, okay? So that means that business establishment is losing money, and who knows how long this is gonna take. I mean, we've known about this Wuhan virus since January, and it's already in March. I mean, this is a great way to start the 2020 year, by the way. I mean, there's a lot of shit that's been happening. Anyways, back to my original story. No one's shopping, no one's buying stuff. These businesses are losing money. At some point, they may end up closing down because of there's no money, right? So that means the workers that work for that establishment aren't getting paid. If you're not getting paid, how can you live, okay? Rent here is it's expensive, believe it or not. Well, yeah, right? Let's take it a step further. Depending on how long this ban is, or not the ban, but how long we're gonna hold people to not go out and do things, what happens next is for example, some people are saying, only come to work if it's essential business, right? What about the people who are in non-essential fields? They're staying home, they're not working. At some point, okay, our business is just gonna say, you know what, just stay home, but unfortunately we can't afford to pay you. What is our next course of action, right? If they're not getting paid, how are they gonna live? Okay, let's take it a step further let's say you do get sick, all right? You get sick, you're forced to stay home for about 2 weeks, give or take. They say about 2 weeks, right? It's the incubation period for when you get the virus to when you possibly can get healthy. It's about 2 weeks of just staying home. You're not working. Hopefully you have some sort of emergency fund. But according to the United States, most people here live paycheck to paycheck. If you have no money, then all of a sudden, like, how can you afford anything, right? You can't go out, and all of a sudden the economy is going down because no one's buying anything. Everyone's scared of contracting the virus. And the next thing, I had this idea yesterday in my mind as I was thinking, but I'm having a hard time bringing it up now. But let's keep going there. It's people aren't buying anything. The economy is going to go down. People are going to start losing their jobs. All right. When you start having job losses, people can't afford to buy anything. When you can't afford to buy anything, like big businesses are going to lose a lot of money, especially in stocks, right? Or the market's going to go down because one, unemployment's ridiculously high. Businesses are forced to close down. People are forced to stay home because they're sick. And that's what I want to emphasize. This is assuming that we have not taken care of this in the next month, right? If this goes on for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or however long it takes, like, I want you to really think about that. And then all of a sudden, what happens is you have a lot of people with no money who may end up eventually becoming desperate. And this is why it's important for our government to really step in and provide some supplemental type of income where we could at least survive and maintain our way of life, right? And I know the Democrats did try to pass something today, like on an emergency corona bill. I'm gonna have to go find it for you. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this is what the legislation would do. Free coronavirus testing for everyone who needs a test, including the uninsured. Paid emergency leave with both 14 days of paid sick leave and up to 3 months of paid family and medical leave. Enhanced unemployment insurance, a first step that will extend protections to furloughed workers. Strengthen food security initiatives, including the SNAP program, student meals, seniors nutrition, and food banks. Clear protections for frontline workers, including healthcare workers and other workers who are in contact with those who have been exposed or are responsible for cleaning at-risk places, and increased federal funds for Medicare as states face increased costs. So this was the bill that was proposed today by, I believe, Nancy Pelosi, and the House passed the bill. It got to the Senate, and fucking Mitch McConnell, fuck you, Mitch McConnell, declined it, right? So, anyways, this is something that we need to have. We need to have some type of social safety net for this situation because honestly, it can get really scary. And I've never been in a situation like this where, I'm in a working field now and, my job is important. Thank God I have about $15,000 of just an emergency fund just in case of something, happened if I'm unable to work for a while. And this is why it's really important to set up an emergency fund for you. If you don't have one, make sure to have at least 3 months of living expenses for just in case of things like this ever happening. So it can be a really scary situation if our economy goes down because of this virus and if no one's going out to shop and no one's going out to buy stuff. It's scary, believe it or not. I mean, I want you to really think about this for a second, like the repercussions of what this can mean, not just for our health, but just the economy in general. I mean, this is honestly the truth. Like, I know health is important, but also just the way we live our lives, right? Jobs. We need money to live. If we don't have money to live, then it's hard to continue to do things. And so, yeah. I mean, am I worried? I'll give you a straight up answer. Like, I'm not, like, from a scale of 0 to 10, where 0 is like I'm completely fine, I'm cool, dude. 10 is like I'm in freak out mode. I'm like at a 4. I'm somewhere in the middle where, like, I'm kind of scared, but at the same time, I'm not that scared enough because I'm not worried about my health. If I do end up getting the virus, I'm healthy enough that my body will fight off and hopefully I'll recover. Because I believe they say that the recovery rate is pretty high for people who are, again, still healthy, who do not have a compromised immune system. Like, the recovery rate is pretty much, I think they're saying that the mortality rate is basically 0.1 or 0.2%, which is very, very low, right? Obviously, once you hit the 60 years old, 70 years old age, mortality rates, I'm just throwing out a number here because I remember seeing it, but I don't remember the exact number. I'm gonna go ahead and find it. I think it's about 12%. Don't quote me on that. I'm gonna find it and I'll put a correction if I find a correct number, okay? But it's at about 12% for people who are 70 years and over. So it's pretty high for them. And of course it's scary, especially if you have kids, if you have grandparents living at home. You don't want to get them sick. Makes total sense. Anyways, I just kind of want to share my reaction or my response to what happened yesterday, because yesterday was kind of this whole thing is surreal. It's very, very surreal. You know, it's like actually, if you remember in 2000, I think it was 2006 or 2008, we had this swine flu epidemic or pandemic. I have to double check. I was still young. I didn't consider that a big deal yet, but you know, also the 2011 September 11, 2001, where you know the planes crashed into the World Trade Center. Like, although I was in high school still, I wasn't quite mature enough to process what had just happened, you know. But now that I'm an adult, my mind is pretty much matured at this point. It's surreal to kind of experience something that, you know, the streets are pretty empty, malls are empty, no one's going out. It's almost like a ghost town, you know. And so, anyways, I hope you stay safe. You know, make sure I've never washed my hands in so much. Like pretty much everything I touch, I automatically disinfect my hand completely afterwards. Even if I just did it like 5 seconds ago, if I touch something, I'm gonna disinfect my hand. So make sure. Okay, holy crap! I just saw this right now. Okay, the hockey league has also suspended their season due to the virus. You know, it's like this is a big deal, guys. Whatever you see on Fox News, that shit channel needs to go. By the way, it's because I'm ranting here a little bit, but this is a big deal. Okay, again, big deal, but no reason to panic. Take it seriously, but don't panic, because panicking does not do anybody any good, right? Take the precautionary measures as needed, but there's no reason to go into freak out mode, okay? You'll be fine. Take care of yourself. Make sure you wash your hands, fist bump people, or in this case, you elbow. Like if we were playing basketball yesterday, instead of high-fiving or, you know, we just elbow pump, right? Boom. That way you don't touch your hands by accident and just things like that, okay? So just be safe. Use precautionary measures as needed. Use common sense. And, you know, I don't want to say don't stop living your life, right? But live your life with caution, okay? Make sure if you do go out to a restaurant, just wash your hands periodically, frequently, and just, yeah. All right? Anyways, be safe. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. And I hope you have a good rest of your week. And I'm going to upload, one last thing is I'm going to go and upload my video that I did yesterday entitled why maintaining friendships is so hard. So look out for that tomorrow, okay? Happy Thursday, and I'll see you in my next video or my next other video, because I'm going to upload the one from yesterday to tomorrow. All right? Have a good day. Bye-bye.